now entering St. John's Cemetery and the place where the old St. John's Church was placed. On 31st of July 1750, Bach was buried at St. John's Cemetery. The church was rebuilt in the late 19th century, and they rediscovered Bach's grave and brought his bones into the new St. John Church. There was a vault. This new church was demolished in the Second World War. The tower of the church still existed, and it was standing here until the 1970s or even 80s or something like that. This is the place of this church tower. And then they broke it down.
And so where we are standing right now, and this is where the St. John's Church used to be.
Yes.
And the cemetery is behind. The Grassy Museum, which is a very, very famous museum.
Yes, especially famous for its collection of musical instruments.
This is the cemetery where Bach's body was buried.
Yes, his body was brought here in 31st of July 1750. He was buried here. And well, this is the oldest graveyard in Leipzig. It's over 500 years old, and well, not only Bach, but all the Thomas cantors and all people from Leipzig were buried here. This is a part of the graveyard that still exists, but it's nowadays even smaller than it was in the 18th century. And the exact place where Bach was buried is nowadays not existing because it was completely rebuilt. And Bach's bones, after the World War in 1950, were brought to St. Thomas Church.
So David, here we are. That's the grave. It's actually not the original one. So Bach was buried in 1750 in the cemetery outside of the church, but later in early 20th century, because Bach became more and more famous, they wanted to have him back here in the church at his main working place. And so his bones they took into this grave. Now it's always covered with flowers from people all over the world. Once I saw letters here written from a guy from Pakistan actually saying, "Thank you so much, J.S. Bach. I did this pilgrimage here to your grave just to say thank you for your music." David, what you need to do next time, apart from conducting up there, is listening to a performance of maybe a Passion or so, sitting next to the grave. I actually used to do this very often on Good Fridays, and I'm always looking to the grave. Maybe something is moving there because Bach likes the performance or so. So it's a really good feeling to know that he is with us in such performances.
And this is the place where he belongs.
That's the place where he belongs and where any Bach pilgrimage ends.